Okay, students, so I'll be starting today's session. Myself, Mrs. Teja Poddar. I am the faculty from Vidyalankar. I'll be guiding you all today for 12th board exams, that is for biology, how to write the paper, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, and how you can score the maximum marks in your paper, how can you make your paper presentable. So I'll be guiding you all for the same. I'll be sharing you all the PPT. So just let me know if you all can see my screen clearly so that I can start with my PPT. Okay, students. Uh, I will be guiding you all for the preparation of your exam. That is, what are the do's and don'ts you have to look after while writing your paper. Okay. First, I will be briefing you all with the weightage of for the biology subject. Okay, so total of biology subject is for 100 marks, out of which 70 would be your theory paper and 30 marks would be for your practical examination. And for practical examination, well certified journal plus the major experiment, minor experiment will fetch you maximum 30 marks. That is, you will get above 25 for sure. And if you perform well, you may also get 30 marks. So please look over it that your practical exam is also cleared very nicely. So now we'll discuss with the weightage of the chapters. Looking at the first chapter, that is the reproduction in lower and higher plants. Without option, it will be for 6 marks, and with option, it will be for 8 marks. Reproduction in lower and higher animals. Without option, it will be for 6 marks, and with option, it will be for 8 marks. Inheritance and variation. Without options, it will be for 4 marks, and with options, it will be for 6 marks. Molecular basis of inheritance, it will be for 4 marks without option, and with option, it will be for 6 marks. Origin and evolution of life, without option, it will be for 4 marks, and with option, it will be for 6 marks. Plant water relation, without option, it will be for 5 marks, and with option, it will be for 7 marks. Plant growth and mineral nutrition, without option, it will be for 5 marks, and with option, it will be for 7 marks. Respiration and circulation, without option, it will be for 7 marks, and with option, it will be for 10 marks. Control and coordination, without options, it will be for 8 marks, and with options, it will be for 11 marks. Human health and diseases, without option, it will be for 3 marks, and with options, it will be for 4 marks. Enhancement of food production, it will be for 4 marks without option, and with option, it will be for 6 marks. Biotechnology, without option, it will be for 5 marks, and with option, it will be for 7 marks. Organisms and population, without option, it will be for 3 marks, and with option, it will be for 4 marks. Ecosystem and energy flow, same. Without option, 3 marks. With option, 4 marks. Biodiversity, conservation, and environmental issues, it will be for 3 marks without option, and with option, it will be for 4 marks. So, in total, you all can see the paper would be for 70 marks. Okay, now we'll just concentrate on the heavy weightage chapters. So, the heavy weightage chapters, if you all can see, it is the first chapter, second chapter, as well as the respiration and circulation and control and coordination. These are the first and foremost chapters you all need to focus on. And uh, if you all see, some of the important topics from these 4 chapters are The first chapter, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants, you will have to focus on the types of pollination, the male gametophyte, the female gametophyte, apomixis, double fertilization, etc. So most of the times, 4 mark question may come from this, as well as 3 mark questions. Most of the MCQs are also asked from here. Second chapter, that is reproduction lower and higher animals, the high weightage chapter. Male, that is human male reproduction, human female reproduction, oogenesis, spermatogenesis, etc. These are some of the important topics you have to be focused on. Then inheritance and variation, you'll have to pay more attention on all the crosses, that is monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, all the 3 laws. Then autosomal inheritance, sex-linked inheritance, back cross, test cross. Then the chromosomal disorders are also important. Then if you see about the respiration and circulation, human respiratory system, then granulocytes or granulocytes, that is RBCs, WBCs, types of WBCs are important. The internal structure of heart, the conducting system of heart, etc. are important. Then control and coordination, forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, etc. All the glands, they are important: pituitary gland, thymus gland, thyroid gland, etc. So you all need to focus more on this topic. And then rest of the topics which are there, that also you need not avoid it. So inheritance and variation, molecular basis of inheritance, evolution, plant water growth, there the osmosis is there. Then in plant mineral nutrition, all the hormones, that is auxin, gibberellins, cytokinins, ethylines, etc. For these hormones, you will make a short answer, means a general answer where the characteristics are common. So only the peculiar characters for each and every hormone you need to write it down. Then next chapters, that is human health and diseases, you need to write the host, causative agents, symptoms, treatments, diagnosis for all the diseases. Then for biotechnology, rDNA technology, then replication, all this is important. And rest of the 3 chapters, these are the EVS chapters. So I will suggest you all to uh, refer the previous papers, that is of 2022 2023, for both, that is March and July as well, so that you all can do a comparative study on the same. Now let us see the paper pattern. This is a paper pattern where you will be having section A, section B, section C, and section D. So let us start with section A. Section A will consist of the MCQs and very short answers. So MCQ will consist of 10 marks, 10 questions, 10 marks, 1 mark each. So you'll have to choose the correct alternative and write down the answer. How to write it, I will tell you in the next slide. Then next is answer in one sentence, that is very short answers. Here also I will guide you all for the same. Then next is, that is section B. Here there would be some options, that is there would be total 12 questions, out of which you all have to attempt any 8. So here you all have a scope of improvement where if you have not studied any of the chapters, so you all have a scope for attempting another alternative. Then section C, same, there are 12 questions. Okay, section B, it will be for 2 marks each. So 8 into 2 becomes 16 marks, section B. Then next is section C, where you will have 12 questions, out of which you will have to attempt any 8, and each will be for 3 marks. Okay, now here there are chances of getting your diagram answers, means answers along with the diagrams. So here if the diagram answers are there, then the diagram would be given 1.5 mark and the answer would be given 1.5 mark. So you'll have to make sure that 1.5 mark, half mark will be for neatness and 1 mark will be for writing any 2 labels, okay, for the proportionate diagram, and 1.5 mark will be for the rest of the answer, where you have to mention at least 3 points. Okay, so it is preferable that you write at least 5 points, out of which three would be correct. Okay, then last, that is the section D. Here, there are 4 mark questions, okay, where you will have to attempt any three out of five. Here, there are, if you all see the previous papers, that is 2022, 2023, uh, year, that is the March and the July papers. Okay, there are a lot of sub questions in the section D. So if you are completing the 4 mark answer in two whole pages, uh, in these previous papers the answer is getting over only in 4 lines. That is, they are having sub questions A, B, C. So out of the three, two would be for, one would be for 2 marks, and the rest of the two would be for one mark, which will make 4 marks. So I suggest you all to prefer the previous year's papers, that is 2022 and 2023, very well, so that you all can score very nicely. Okay, because the section D is little bit different than that of the previous papers. So please pay focus on that. Okay, so weightage to types of the questions. Let us see. MCQ 1 marks each. So that is question number 1, 1 to 10. So total 10 MCQs, that will fetch you 10 marks. There are no options here. Means alternatives would be there. So you have to correct the, you have to choose the correct alternative. Then next is one line questions. So 1 mark each. That is question number 2. It will range from 1 to 8. So total 8 questions, which will fetch you 8 marks. That is without any options. That is a compulsory question. Then, short answer one, that is for 2 marks. It will range from question number 3 to question number 14, and that will give you 16 marks. So total, it will, without options, it will be for 16 marks, and with option, it will be for 24 marks. The next is 3 mark question, that is short answers. That will range from question number 15 to question number 26, which will fetch you 24 marks. That is, attempt any 8 questions out of 12, and with option it will be for 36 marks. Long answers 4 mark questions will range from question number 27 to question number 31. So here you have to attempt any 3 out of 5, which will fetch you 12 marks, and with option it will be for 20 marks. I suggest you all to take a screenshot of each and every slide. Okay, so the tips you all need to remember for each and every question is, let us see what are the tips. First one, that is MCQ. How to write down the MCQ? That is, while writing the MCQ, students either write down the alphabet, or either they write down the word, that is the correct word. So that is not a correct way to write down the answer. You have to write down the correct alphabet with the correct word. For example, if the MCQ is the pH of nutrient medium for plant tissue culture is in the range of dash. So the correct answer is B, that is 5 to 5.8. So the correct way of writing the answer is, you have to write down question number 1, that is the section A, question number 1, the first fill in the blank. Then you have to write down the correct alphabet, which is the letter B, and then you have to write down the correct word. So that is 5 to 5.8. So this is the right way to write down the answer. If you are writing the whole sentence, then it is fine with the word, but I will suggest you don't go for the whole sentence. Don't waste your time in writing the whole MCQ. So just write down the question number, the alphabet, along with the correct answer. Okay. If you all are writing only alphabet, it is wrong. If you all are writing only word, that is also wrong. So make sure you all are writing both the things together. Okay. Next. Now, for short answer, that is for 1 mark answer, you have to write down the exact answer. Means there is no half mark scheme for writing 1 mark questions. So, for writing the one line sentence answers, you will either get 1 mark, or you will either get zero. So, don't be in a state where you will get half mark. Okay, so if there is a definition, you have to write down the exact definition. If it is the exact answer, you have to write down the exact answer. If you're not able to recollect, okay, please write an answer which is nearer to that answer. Please don't write down irrelevant answer because that will not help you out. Okay. Next, if the distinguish is asked, okay, so you all have to make sure that you all write it in a tabular form. Fine. If it is asked for 2 marks, 4 points are expected in both the columns. If it is for 3 marks, 6 points are expected in both the columns. That is half mark for each point. Okay. If it is for 4 marks, then 8 points are expected. But most of the times, for 4 marks, distinguish is not asked. Okay. Recently, when distinguish was asked, that is the difference between an artery and vein, but it was given to the reference of lumen and the thickness of wall. So this can be one of the questions in 4 mark question. So it was only for I guess it was only for 2 marks. So difference between artery and vein with reference to lumen, it was for 1 mark, and with reference to thickness of wall, it was for 1 mark. So this can come in the 4 mark question. But if a full-fledged question is asked for distinguish between, it will be mostly asked for 2 mark or 3 mark. Okay. So if it is asked for with reference to, you have to pay attention that what is the question. If it is for lumen and thickness of wall, there is no point in writing about the pressure. Okay. So make sure that you will read the question correctly and then write down the answers correctly. Next, match the column or complete the chart. These type of questions, the whole table is to be rewrite. That is to be rewritten whole thing. That is for match the column. Please don't write down the question number and then just the alphabet. This is the wrong way to write down the match the column. You have to rewrite the whole table, even if it is not mentioned in the match the column. Rewrite the whole table. You have to draw the table again. If there is complete the chart, you have to complete the chart and rewrite it, okay, with the correct answer. So that is the correct way to present your match the column as well as complete the chart. Okay, mention the answer numbers neatly and in a legible manner. Means if the question number 1 is there, please don't write it as 2, 3, 4, and likewise, because if you'll see from question number 3 onwards, the numbers are changing. Okay, so don't make question number 1 to question number 3. So please mention whatever question numbers are present on that particular questions. Now, the most important tip is here is to draw proportionate and well labeled diagram. Means it should be moderate size. Okay. For example, if you'll draw big diagrams, if for supposingly the internal structure of heart is asked, students tend to draw the diagram whole for the whole page. They use the whole page. But be sensible that if the diagram is drawn for the whole page, it will consume more time. Okay, and it will not fetch you that much marks. Means आपने बड़ा डायग्राम निकाला तो आपको ज्यादा मार्क्स मिलेगा. प्लीज डोंट बी इन दैट इंटेंशन. ओके, सो योर diagram should be moderate size. That is, it should not exceed to the size of your palm. So the size of your palm is the exact size where you can draw the diagram. Okay, strictly you have to use pencil for labeling the diagram, for drawing the diagram as well. If in case the diagram is given, okay, and you will have to just label the diagram, that time you can use the pen, okay, to write down the correct alternative. That is the correct question. That is, if it is A, you have to point out A and write down the correct label. So that time you can use the pen. But if you are drawing the diagram, you have to use the pencil and label with the pencil itself. Okay, so if the diagram is asked for 2 marks, half marks will be for neatness, and 1.5 mark would be for any 3 correct labels. Okay. If it is asked for 3 marks, half mark would be for neatness, and 2.5 mark would be for any 5 correct labels. And if it is asked in 4 mark question, means a diagram is asked in 4 mark question, so 2 marks would be for the diagram and 2 marks would be for the explanation. I will clear the doubts at the end. Okay. Next, answer should be point wise and subheadings should be underlined. Okay. Don't write any answers in paragraph form. Please make a habit to write down all the answers point wise, and you have to write down the subheadings and underline it. Means, for example, conducting system of heart is asked. Okay. In the previous papers, the internal structure is not asked, conducting system is asked. So if you'll see that question, the SA node, the AV node, Purkinje fibers, then a bundle of His, these four labelings are important. If these four labelings are not there, the structure of heart would get zero. Okay, so make sure that you underline the subheading. So if you are writing SA node, please underline the SA node and then write its function. Okay, this is how you have to make it presentable. You draw the conducting system of heart, you label the diagram correctly, and then you write down the 4 points which will fetch you all 4 marks, and please underline the subheadings so that the examiner can understand that you know the whole answer. Even if you don't write the subheadings and you write down the points, the examiner may feel that you are not having the full knowledge of that particular answer. So make your answer presentable, write down the subheadings and underline it. Now, when you're writing a scientific name, there are few rules that you should follow. I hope you all know the rules. Okay, so the first letter should be capital, the second letter should be small, and they should be underlined separately. So this is how you have to write the scientific name. For example, if you're writing Zia maize, Z should be capital, M should be small, and it should be underlined separately. So Zia maize is nothing but the maize plant. Now, you have to make the maximum use of examples, okay, wherever there are necessary. But if you're writing a distinguish between, an example is not a point, it will not be considered as a point. If you want to write, you can write it as an additional point, but it will not be considered as a point. So, wherever there is necessary to write down the examples, for example, pollination answer is there. So in pollination, wind pollination, water pollination, hydrophily, hypohydrophily, epihydrophily. So there are lots of examples. So you all can make your answer more firm by writing maximum number of examples for the same. Now, the last tip for y'all is to refrain attempting the section in fragments. That is, please try, not try, you have to write down all the section in a proper order. If you're starting with section A, the order should be A, B, C, D. If you all are starting with D, it should be D, C, B, A. But it is not at all preferable to write down in a reverse way. Some students find it easier to write down the 4 mark answers first, but if you're writing that, please make sure that you are writing in an order that is DCBA. But it will give the examiner a good impression if you all are writing the sections in a proper order, that is A, B, C, D. So don't write anything in fragments. If you all find that you have not written any answer, you all have missed an answer, then you can write it and write it as continued from section the so and so. But don't do that, because that will create a wrong impression on the examiner and it will affect the marks, it will affect your marks. So make sure that you all are writing all the sections in a correct order. Okay, and you all have to start each section on a new page. Okay, even if a sentence you have written only one sentence on the whole page, it is fine, just leave that page and start with a new page. This is how you have to present your paper. Okay, so these are all the tips. I suggest you all to take the screenshot of the same. Okay, these are the reference books. That is the biology textbook, and this is the score booster book, which is prepared by Vidyalankar, and it has the previous solved papers. This will be very very beneficial for you all, so that you all can refer all the papers which are already solved, and it will be very helpful for you all to increase your marks. These books are available on Amazon and Flipkart, so you all can easily just order it, and it is at a very very affordable price. So if you all can see, the biology has 48 solved papers, so you all can refer that. He's Pranav Kute, so he's the first ranker in MHCET, and we are having a crash course. That is, the batches will commence after the board exam, obviously. So, if you all need any guidance, if you all want to join this crash course, you all can just contact the number which is given below. You all can just take the screenshot. You all can contact this number. Okay, these are online test series. So if y'all just click on this link, y'all will be able to refer this online test series. That is also at an affordable rate. So y'all can just test yourself for these. If y'all want, the link can be shared on the message box. These are some of the online test series for JEE mains and NEET. All the best for the exam, students. Now I can solve all your doubts. So here is the first question. That is, for distinguish for 2 marks are supposed to write two points in both the columns. For 2 marks, you are expected to write four points in each of the columns. Yes, yes, the crash course is there for the Vidyalanka students as well. Any other doubts, students, regarding the paper pattern? How to write the questions, or what to avoid, or regarding the marks of any of the questions? I think I have covered maximum questions which you all would be confused for. Any questions, students? Students, please feel free to ask any of the questions, because it is a very important exam for you all, and it is very important to make your paper presentable. Do we need to make a box for the diagram? It would be preferable to make a box for the diagram. It would be very, very presentable. But if you all are making a box, you make sure that you all are writing the labels within the box. It should not exceed the box. Books of slide of answer. Okay, okay. I will share it. Textbook is the best source where you can get all the answers. And nowadays the students are asking me whether the back questions are enough for the exam. The answer for this is no. Back questions are the first preference you have to do, and you have to study all the topics which are there in the textbook other than that of the back questions. Okay, so just don't rely on the back questions. You have to do the whole textbook. Okay, you have to stick to the textbook, you have to stick to the previous board papers, any notes if you all have prepared for your own. The main chapters are the chapters which are having heavy weightage. So first focus on the heavy weightage chapters, and then you can go to low weightage chapters. Or if you want, you all can make some notes for the low weightage chapters, so even those chapters are covered. This session is not for sharing any importance. It is for guiding you for the paper pattern. So by now you all should have prepared for all the things, I hope. So I have told you all some of the important points that will come from the chapters. So you all can just go through it. No need to make a margin at the right hand side of the paper. The students have a habit to do so, but it is only preferable, I think, in the English paper. But there is no need of making a margin on the right side for biology paper, because that will decrease the width of your writing paper. So don't do that. It is not at all preferable. Uh, it is means these questions do not come, but it is preferable that you all read the internet, my friend, and can you tell questions. So you all just need to know it. For 4 mark questions, total 8 points are expected. If there is a diagram based question, it would be mentioned that you have to draw the diagram. But still, if you find that, it is not mentioned, but the diagram is expected, you draw a small diagram so that you don't lose any marks. But if the diagram is expected, it would be mentioned there that please explain so and so with the help of a neat and labeled diagram. If that is not mentioned, 8 points would be preferable to write down for a 4 mark question. I would suggest you all that you write down two extra points so that you all don't lose any marks for the same. If any of the questions are missed out, you all can just write it at the last of the paper, or just don't make it in the between. So because that will disconnect the continuity of that particular section. So if you feel that you have forgotten a particular question, you write it at the last, that is after section D is over. You can write it that. Otherwise, if you have left any space below the particular section of that particular question, so you all can use that particular space. Just try to fit in that space so that there is no continuation afterwards. Okay, thank you, students. Please refer the textbook, the biology papers, previous year's papers, and 2022, 2023 is the best paper. Those four papers are best to be preferred for your comparative study, so that you all can study the questions, the pattern, how the questions are given, because they are given in a little bit different way. The diagrams are given sometimes, and you have to just label it. So those type of questions are there. Complete the chart is there. So then some of the times the diagram is means there was a question where you have to draw the diagram, that is draw a proportionate diagram of root hair showing the three labels, that is mitochondria, nucleus and vacuole. So they have already given the label, and you have to just draw the diagram and you have to label it. So these type of questions are also there. So it is preferable that you go through 2022 and 23 papers, that is for March as well as February and July. Question and answers, you can prepare it from any of the solutions. That is not an issue. It can be written from any of the sources. You be comfortable in whichever source you are comfortable with, but it should not be irrelevant to the question, or it should not be out of the textbook. Means it the matter should be available in the textbook. That's it. Or only time. If the diagram is asked, please don't write any explanation, because that will not fetch you any marks. In spite, it will take your time, it will consume your time for no reason. So if only diagram is asked, please don't write anything related to the diagram. You have to just draw the proportionate diagram and write down the labels. No, see, for there is one question in 4 marks. The questions like explain male reproductive system. In this, we should write the whole descriptions of the organs like testes, accessory ducts, and glands, which should include 4 to 5 pages of textbook. See, I had told you all before only that if there is a 4 mark question, okay, it would be mentioned that you have to draw the diagram. Okay, so diagram would be for 2 marks and the explanation would be for 2 marks. Okay, so draw the diagram, label the diagram accordingly. Means if it is for 2 marks, the diagram is for 2 marks, half mark would be for neatness, and 1.5 mark would be for any three labels. So instead of writing any three labels, you write down 4 to 5 labels for safer side. And then rest of the 2 marks, you can write down about the accessory ducts, you can write about the glands. Okay, and then you can just underline it and write down at least 2 to 3 points for each. Okay, no need to write down 4 to 5 page answers, because it will not give you any extra marks. Okay, so just make sure that for 2 marks you have to write kitna proportionately आपको लिखना है, that you have to decide. Make your own notes. That is, if male reproductive system is asked, make your own notes. Okay, make the subtitles, write down at least 2 to 3 points for each subtitle, which will give you full 2 marks, and the other 2 marks would be for diagram. Obviously, if the diagram is not asked, then you just draw a small diagram and write down at least 8 points, which will fetch you all the 4 marks. Okay, no, there are no sets in the board exams. There is no ABCD pattern. That is, no sets would be there. For each and every student, the question paper would be the same. See, target is for comparative study. So it is just a source of studying. So you all can prefer any of the notes. That is not an issue. You can refer the Vidyalanka notes. So that is the best option. You can use the textbook as well. Write in brief. You have to see for the marks. If it is asked for 3 marks, 6 points are expected. If it is for 4 marks, then 8 points are expected. If it is not mentioned that draw a diagram, and if you feel that it is necessary to draw a diagram, please draw a small diagram, because according to the rule, if the diagram is expected, it should be mentioned in the question. Okay, so don't worry about it. If a diagram based question is asked, there would be mentioned. If you feel that diagram is necessary, you draw a small diagram and you write at least 8 points for 4 marks. Yes, students, any other question, or should I end the session? Yes, I guess there are no more questions for this session. So all the best, students. If any doubts, please approach me for any queries if you all have. See, for if only the cycle is asked, then see, a 4 mark question only diagram would not be asked. Okay, if it is a 4 mark question, it will be explanation based 4 mark question. So you have to draw the cycle. Okay, and you have to give at least 4 labels for 2 mark Kelvin cycle, and then for rest of the 2 marks, you have to write down at least 4 to 5 points. You write down at least 6 points. So out of six, four would be correct. Yes. Thank you, madam. Okay. All the best, students. Diksha, Ajay, Tanmay, Karan, all of y'all. All the best. Do well. Prepare well for the exam. Saurish, Saish. Thank you.